Palworld have just released a Xbox/PC Game Pass dedicated server, which is fantastic news as previously the only people with dedicated servers were those who had the game on Steam. So, in this quick video, I'll be showing you how to set up a private dedicated server completely for free running on your own system for Palworld and the Xbox Game Pass, or just even Xbox as in the console. But before we get into it, if you already have an existing server for Palworld, in the description down below you'll find a quick guide on how to migrate your server from the Steam version to the Xbox/Game Pass version. Anyways, without further ado, let's set up a brand new Xbox/Game Pass Palworld dedicated server. So looking at my PC over here, the first thing we need to do is obviously download the server files. There are two ways of doing this. One, if you own Palworld on Steam, you'll be able to search for Palworld in your library and you'll find the Palworld dedicated server. You can download this, right-click, hover over Manage and choose Browse Local Files. This is where your server is. Fantastic. But obviously, if you have the game on the Xbox Game Pass, you're not going to own it on Steam. So, in order to get these game files, we'll need to use a tool called Steam CMD. Don't worry, you don't even need a Steam account in order to download these server files. Assuming you're on Steam, you can skip forward in the video now to just after downloading the server there. Alright, so Steam CMD if you don't have Steam or own the game. All we need to do is head across to this link in the description down below. This is the article/text version of this guide that you're watching. Simply scroll down here and you'll find this little bit of information, downloading Palworld dedicated server. Right underneath it, you'll see something about Steam CMD and a link here. All you need to do is click this link to get a direct download, or click this one to get taken across to Valve's official page for Steam CMD, choose Windows here, then click the tiny little one over here to download Steam CMD. Once it's downloaded, we'll need to extract this to a folder where you'd like your server to live. It'll take up a few gigabytes. I'll make a folder on my desktop called Palworld Xbox Server and we'll open it up. We'll drag out Steam CMD into here, and now we can get to setting up our server download. As this is a command line tool, we'll need to run a command, which is this one, in order to download Palworld's server. But as this is a command line thing, we'll need to run this command again in the future in order to update our Palworld server. To make things very easy, we can copy this entire block down here by clicking this little copy button here, which is a very simple script that automatically downloads or updates the Palworld server and then immediately after launches it. This way, whenever you want to launch your server, run this little start.bat file that we're creating. It'll check for an update and start your server. So next to Steam CMD, right-click and choose New followed by Text Document. Then select everything including .text and call it start.bat. Hit enter, confirm this, and now we can open this with any text editor. If you don't see .txt or it doesn't change properly, click View on Windows 11 followed by Show and make sure that file name extensions and hidden items are both ticked. On Windows 10, at the ribbon bar at the very top, you'll find View at the very top, and on the far right, the same two options. Now, open up this file, start.bat, with a text editor like Notepad. You can right-click and choose Edit, and it should open up like this. Now, inside of here, we'll be pasting in that block of code that we just copied. This will validate that Palworld is installed and up to date, and then it will launch it. As you can see, it says troubleshoots server. Change this bit of text inside of quotes to whatever you want your server to be called. Save this file and close it. Now we can run start.bat in order to start downloading the Palworld server, and then it'll launch immediately afterwards. Just wait for this to complete, and eventually when it's done, it should download the actual game server itself, which is going to take quite a while depending on the speed of your internet, and shortly after that, it'll fire up the actual server itself. I'm going to close this as I already have the Palworld server downloaded, but essentially in this folder here, you'll have a Steam Apps folder, inside of it, a common folder, and inside of this, another folder called Pal Server. This one should contain the same files as if we were to have downloaded it from Steam. Now we're all in the same place with our server closed. Let's get to configuring our server now. In the main folder, you'll find default Palworld settings.ini. What we'll do is we'll copy this file into Pal, followed by saved, config, and then Windows Server. If you're setting this up on Linux, it'll be called Linux Server. paste the file into here, and as soon as it's done, what we need to do is rename it. We'll be renaming it and removing default from the very beginning, so it just says Palworld settings.ini as such. Then we can open it with any text editor. Once again, I'll be choosing Notepad. Inside of this file, it may look very confusing and it'll be somewhat similar to this. Don't worry, all we need to focus on here is a few of these options, mainly the max number of players, the server name, which is currently default Palworld server. I'll be changing this to Troubleshoots server. As such, we can set an admin password, which I would recommend set this to something super difficult. Then for the server password, set this to something simple if you want to password protect your server. I'll say Pokemon 1. Now, the public port should be left as is unless you're running multiple servers on one computer. Archon enabled can be set to false unless you want to set it to true and remotely run commands on your server using a different program. If you're interested, you'll find a link down below for a guide on that. Then pretty much everything else we can leave as is. There's just one more thing. This file doesn't include anything to tell our server it should be running and allowing Xbox or Game Pass players to join. As soon as we save this and run it, it'll only work for Steam players until we modify this file one more time. Hit Ctrl F to search and we'll be typing in allow C as such just to see if anything comes up. What we're looking for is this over here, allow connect platform equals Xbox. If you don't see that in your text file, like I don't here, you'll need to scroll down on this page until you find allow connect platform equals Xbox. We'll copy this and inside of this text file, right before this closing bracket at the very end, we'll be pasting this in. So, comma, followed by allow connect platform equals Xbox. When we save this file and run our server now, it'll work for Xbox or Game Pass players. In the future, you can change this to Steam to allow Steam players to join, but it can only be one or the other. There's no crossplay just yet between Steam and the Game Pass or Xbox version of the game. Now that we've set this up, we can save it and close it. Then we can head back to the PAL server folder and we'll be able to run our server for the first time. Just like that, your server is now running and you can go ahead and join it. So I can open up the Xbox app followed by Palworld and we can join it. For some reason, Palworld on Xbox Game Pass doesn't seem to work on my computer, but it does work on my laptop, and I'll be joining it in just a moment. In order to connect to this server running on the same computer as you're playing on, all you need to do is click Join Multiplayer Game, and at the very bottom you'll find a text box with this IP address in it, 127.0.0.1:8211. This is a loopback address and points to your own computer. 8211 is the port that our server is running on. If you hit connect, you should be able to join your server. Just remember to tick use a password if you set a password in your config file. Otherwise, you won't be able to join. Just like that, you can create a character and run around on your server as usual. But you are alone. Nobody else can join you at this point, and that's because of two more things stopping us. One is the firewall, and two is port forwarding. Don't worry, it sounds super stressful, but we'll go through it step by step. It's pretty simple. First of all, the firewall. Heading back to this page over here, we'll scroll down until we find this colorful block of text. Click the copy button right next to it, and we'll be pasting this into a PowerShell window to automatically allow ports 8211, 27015, 6, and 25575 through our Windows firewall. If you're using something like an antivirus with a firewall built into it, you'll need to manually allow those ports there. I'll just assume that you're using the normal default Windows firewall with nothing special. Hit start and type in PowerShell, where we can right-click this and run this as admin. Then in here, hit Ctrl-V to paste anyway, and hit enter a few times just to make sure that everything is run through properly. Now we've successfully allowed the Palworld server through our Windows firewall, and something like another computer on the same network, like my laptop, should be able to connect and play on our server as long as it's running here. Though, how exactly would we do that? Well, on another computer on the same network, open up Palworld, head to Join Multiplayer Game, and at the very bottom, you'll be changing 127.0.0.1 to something else. That is the IP address or the local IP of your computer that's hosting the game server. To find that out, hit start, type in CMD, and open this up. Inside of another terminal, command prompt, PowerShell, or anything like that, type in ipconfig one word as such, hit enter, then look for the way that you're connected to the internet. I'm connected with an Ethernet cable, so Ethernet adapter is what I'm using. Then the IPv4 address is the address of your PC on your local network, 192.168.150. On the laptop right next to me, I'll be connecting to 192.168.150:8211, and I'll be able to join and play on my server. Let's try that. So with the server running, selecting Join Multiplayer, at the bottom we should be able to punch in that address. So 192.168.150:8211. I've ticked the password box as I have a password. We'll connect and I'll type in my password, Pokemon 1. There we go. When we hit OK, we should be joining the server, and looking back at the host computer, you should see the server has some text in just a moment. There we go. Our laptop or other device is now connecting to our server. Shortly after, we should be able to create a character and play the actual game itself. So there we are. I've created a character and we're in the world here. It's super laggy as I'm remotely controlling it, but you get the point. Now, unfortunately, people over the internet can't join just yet. In order to allow other people to join from other networks, we need to handle one more thing, and that's port forwarding. As so many routers are completely different, I won't be able to show you an exact guide for your particular router, but I'll be showing you a general guide of what you need to do. If you're stuck anywhere in this port forwarding process, in the description down below you'll find super detailed guides on not only port forwarding if you need more help, but also multi-router port forwarding if you have more than one router between you and the internet. For example, your computer connects to one router, that goes to another in a different room, and only then it goes to another router that has your fiber or ADSL or whatever it is connection on that. If that sounds like your setup, you'll need to look into multi-router port forwarding, but for now, we'll keep it simple. I've created an example router over here. You'll sign into your router using the password that's probably written on it somewhere, and you'll need to head across to something like security followed by port forwarding, application forwarding, or something like that. In here, you should be able to enter internal and external ports, which is the forwarding part of it, a protocol like TCP, UDP, or on some routers, a combined option, which is great, and a place for it to go. 192.168.1 is already filled in here. I just need to fill in my address, and there we go. So let's go ahead and port forward. The ports that we need are 8211, 27015, 6, and 25575. You'll need to port forward these first three and this last one if you're going to be using Archon. Don't worry about that too much. If you don't know what it is and you're not going to be running commands for your server outside of your network, you probably don't need to forward this last one. These first three are the most important ones. So 8211 in our router will punch in the number for internal and external, and if you need to put in a range like I do, I'll put in the same number in both. Then the protocol should be TCP and UDP, otherwise you'll need to add the rule once for TCP, then again for UDP. Then our local IP is asking for where it's going to go. That should be the computer that's hosting the server. It was 192.168.1.50. Again, to check it, hit start, type in CMD or terminal, PowerShell, anything really, and run ipconfig. Look for the way that you're connected to the internet. In my case, it was Ethernet, IPv4 address, and mine is 192.168.150. I only need to type in the last bit, so that's what I'll type in here, and we're done. Add, and congratulations, we've now forwarded a port. Now we need to do it twice more for 27015 and 27016, alternatively 25575 if you're going to be using Archon. So I'll be entering 27015 in both the internal and external. As we can add a range or multiple, I can add 27016 as well. I'll do it for both of these. Then we'll select TCP and UDP, 1.50 again, add, and there we go. We've now successfully completely port forwarded our Palworld server. That's it. At this stage, if we leave the server running long enough, it should appear on the list. And of course, other people can connect to our server straight away if you Google what is my IP, send your friends that IP address, :8211 is what they'll connect to in the in-game join multiplayer game option. That's it. You now have a Palworld server set up successfully. Just a few things. If you want to save and close your server safely, in the in-game chat, you'll need to type /admin password space followed by your actual password that you set up in the configuration file, and then we can run things like /save to make sure our world is saved and /shutdown to shut off our server. This is essentially the same as closing this window here, but it's a lot safer to make sure you don't lose any important progress. If you were to close this here, as such, your server may save or it may not save. But anyways, if you close the server on your PC, whether you run /shutdown or you close it, you turn off your PC, put it to sleep, anything like that, other people will be kicked off your server. You need to have this computer you're going to be running the server on running for as long as you want the server to be on with the PAL server open. As long as your computer has the PAL server open, has power, internet, other people can come and play. That's it. That's how you get to run the server completely for free. It's using your own hardware and your own internet in order to allow other people to play the game. So that's really it. At this point, you've now successfully set up a Palworld dedicated server for the Xbox or Game Pass players. In the description down below, you'll find related guides for Palworld that I'd recommend checking out if you want better performance or want to do something fancy with your server. But anyways, that's really about it for this quick guide. So hopefully you found this video useful. Thank you for watching, and a special thank you to Superior Emerald for being an ultimate supporter on this channel. I'll see you all next time. Ciao.